Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared. My lovely wife, Kara, is not joining us. And today we are talking about the Asher Knives Nomad. And this is going to be the review of the good and the bad about this knife. Now I have my list right next to me of all the good, great things and the bad things about this knife. First up, let's do the specs really quick. So the length of this thing is 7 1/4. The blade length is 3 1/8. So it's 3 inches basically. It's a tad smidgen over. So let's do some size comparisons really quick. I know a lot of you are saying, oh, that's all bug out. Well, then here's the bug out. So basically the exact same size as the bug out. I will say, I will do a little comparison between these in this video to show you how different it is than the bug out. But let's do some more size comparisons first. So there was the bug out. Here is the Benchmade Reptilian. And I don't think we need any more size comparisons, but here is the Kershaw Knockout. It's a bug out. That's what the size of it. It's the size of a bug out. You already know. You already know. Okay, so let's get to the good and bad about this knife. Now, first up, I just want to do a disclaimer. If you guys watched my previous video, you will know I was sent one of these, and it had some play in the pivot. And Asher Knives contacted me on Instagram and sent me a new one right away. I got it very, very quickly. Told me I can keep this one for parts. I'm probably going to give it to one of you guys, because even though it has this little bit of play, this is an axis lock. And it has good action, and with an axis lock, it's not something you're going to have to worry about failing. Now, I think the play is a little bit in the pivot, but it's not really that big of a deal. I know you're picky if you bought it, but if you got it for free, then you can't really complain, can you? But I am going to keep the Omega springs. I will give the other clip, and we might give it away tomorrow night live in our Pictionary video. So we're doing a live video tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Every Wednesday and Saturday, we do a live 7:30 p.m. Central Time. So if you join us, you might be able to win that knife. I'm not sure if that's the knife we're going to give away for that, but that's what I'm thinking about right now. But either way, we are going to be giving something away. And I'm thinking about doing that one too. So why don't you come join us? Maybe you can win it. Or win something, right? So, this is a little heavier, so like I said, I'm going to compare it a little bit to the bug out. So the one huge difference is the weight. This thing feels a lot more heavier duty because of the liners, because this thing doesn't really have a liner, just has that little thing. So this thing feels like a toy compared to this one. This one actually feels like a knife and like a tool, and I do like that. Now the new one came with the white backspacer. The old one has the steel backspacer. Both, they feel about the same weight. This one might be a little bit heavier, but they feel the same. Next up, blade shape. I like this blade shape, man. This is just such a usable blade shape. It is a common blade shape, you know, and yeah, it looks a lot like the bug out, but this is a common drop point blade shape. So it's pretty much, you know, the same. And I like the spine thickness. It has a nice spine thickness. I think it's about the same as the bug out. I'll put it on the screen exactly what it is. It might be exactly the same, which is you know, a good spine thickness, especially for this size of a knife. It's the type of thickness that can pass through materials very easily, kind of like you know, a lot of really good slicers that you know. So very good spine thickness. Also, I just want to say they are coming, or supposedly they're coming out with new ones with ball bearing pivots. This one has the phosphor bronze, so I'm not sure exactly when they're coming out with those. This one does have really good action. They also have another one in blue, so you have a couple different colors with this model, and they have another one that's kind of resembles this. It's a different knife, and it has like a more of a harpoon blade. So if you go to AsherKnives.com, you'll be able to see everything they have. They have another titanium folder and stuff like that. But yeah, I wish I would have got the one with ball bearings, because that would have been really cool. I like the axis locks with ball bearings. They feel really awesome. Even though this one is really smooth, but I would have liked to have gotten the one with the ball bearings. I didn't know before I got it. The value is really good. It's S35VM G10 deep carry clip. It comes with 2 clips. Comes with extra Omega springs. I mean, the whole package, I mean, that's a good value. It's like 80 bucks. Less, I think it's a little less than 80 bucks, like 78 bucks. That's a hell of a value. So I'll definitely give it that. And this G10 is really nice. I like the G10. The G10 is just good quality G10. I do like, you know, because I know people think like, oh, it's just G10, but there is good and bad quality G10. Like Civivi's G10, I hate Civivi's G10. I think Civivi's G10 is crap. I think this is like FRN G10. I've seen that stuff before, where it's FRN reinforced G10 or something like that. I forget exactly what it's called. Or like G10 reinforced nylon or something. This is good quality G10. I do like that. The ergos are really good. I do like the ergos. I hardly feel the clip. Now, I've tried both of them with the small clip and the big clip. And they both, neither one's ergos are bad. They both feel really good. I like the small clip and the big clip in the hand. They both don't bother me personally. I mean, maybe left-handed, your finger might land on it, but I'm right-handed, so I can't really talk about being left-handed. But no, they both feel really good. I will say I like the finish of the big one better than the small one. It's a stone washed. The small one's a shiny, so that's why I have the big one on there. Like I said about the clip, I do like the clip. The clip carries really well in and out of the pocket. Both of them carry very well. You can see the room in there. They're both good, you know, really good. Just one's longer than the other one. And, you know, like I said, I like the stonewash better. So I do like the clip. The clip works real well. Back to the blade. I did sharpen it. The choil, very nice choil. I like having a good sharpening choil. Sharpened up really nicely. The grind wasn't bad. You know, I'm not going to say it's a phenomenal grind. And we'll get to more of that in a minute. But it's sharpened up really nicely. Wasn't bad. I put it on aluminum oxide stones and took a pretty good polish. I've been using it though ever since I sharpened it. So I used it before I sharpened it, which it had a really good edge. And I'll tell you what, it never damaged the edge. Like I used it and I didn't see any wear, but I wanted to sharpen it for the review, so I sharpened it and then continued to use it. And it didn't have a bad edge. Actually, this is the factory edge. So the factory edge wasn't bad. Good factory edge, nice and even on both sides for the most part. And then here's my edge. I put a new edge on there, and like I said, I've been using it. You can't really see it that well, can you? Let me zoom in a little bit. Might be able to help. Come on, focus. But yeah, it's got a nice edge on there. The shinier an edge is, the harder it is to actually pick up on camera without it, like, you know, looking like it's, you know, unfocused and stuff. Anyways, all right, so next thing, build quality. I love this build quality. So nice big stop pin right there. Then the lock bar right here for the axis lock, nice and big. Both of them are nice and big. I like that. That is really, really nice. The Omega springs are extra strong. I'm going to show you the Omega springs really quick. So here's the extra set that it comes with. These are pretty good quality. If I can get it out. Sorry, there we go. So these are pretty good quality Omega springs. They're very thick. They're thicker than like Benchmade's and a lot stronger. Like Benchmade's are like, these are really strong, and I'm not going to say they're too strong because I do like it and I can feel mine breaking in a little bit, but at first they make the sorry, I'm trying to put this back in. They make it to where it's not too hard or anything like that, but the tension right here, it kind of feels like a Ganzo, put it that way. A lot of Ganzos come with a really strong Omega springs, but since they give you such good grip on the axis lock, I don't know what they call it, I forget. Whatever they call this lock, it gives you good grip on it, and they're nice and out farther. Like if you look at a Benchmade, look how it's smashed in there. This is the G10. I did switch the scales. These are Flytanium G10 scales. So it's not FRN, it's the G10. But look how it's smashed in there. I gotta like wedge my fingers in there. These ones, look how far they poke out. So you get a lot of good access on them. I really like that. And it has very strong tension. Now, anytime you get an axis lock, and if it is a little too strong, you can leave it out like this. Just let it sit. That will help break the Omega springs in. And then also, You can just sit there and flip it and pull it all the way down. Now, I will say with the Benchmates, I've broken many of them, and I think it has a little bit to do with this space on, like, because every time they broke, I pulled it all the way down. So I tend to not do that no more. I just pull it down as far as it needs to go to unlock, as I feel like I'm going to break them if I pull them all the way down. These I have pulled all the way down to the max almost every time, trying to break them in a little bit. But then I thought about it. I was like, man, you know, these things are so good, like it doesn't even matter. And they haven't, it hasn't, like I said, it hasn't broke. I know I haven't had it long enough to say that, and tomorrow they might break, but heck, they gave me a new set. But what I really like about those, listen to this. The snap, sorry. The lock, because of the tension in the lock bar, you feel like it just locks into place. It's not probably coming up on the camera. It's a loud snap. And you feel it. You feel the lock bar engage. I like that. It feels a lot more heavy duty than this. This almost is like a tick. Like it's like nothing compared to this one. This one just, it really locks in place. And then this right here, that really sucks it in because the Omega strings are so strong. This one sucks in really good, but it sounds hollow because it doesn't have the steel liners. But anyways, so the strength is really good. The action's really good. I did take a couple days to break in because at first, you know, I had to pull them down and swing it forward. Now it just drops shut. There hasn't been no play. I did get a little bit of play, and all I did was just turn the pivot, and it's fine. It's locked up pretty good. And like I said, oh yeah, it's nice and centered. Really good. So it has held up with me sharpening it, held up with me cutting with it, held up through everything so far, and with a ton of flipping. So now let's get to the bad things. Now, one thing, it's a little thick behind the edge. It's like 25 thousandths behind the edge. So, and the thing is that it's a thin blade stock, so it goes through materials really nice. So I'm not knocking it on its cutting performance. I'm just giving it a bad because they had all this room to drop, even though it's not 100% full flat, you know, because they gave this swedge and everything. But they started out with such a thin blade. But then again, I kind of look at it like, well, this is supposed to be a little bit harder use, right? This is like lightweight use, and this is hard use. You know, maybe you could look at it like that. But I just feel like they could have went a little thinner behind the edge, and only like say if they would went 18 thousandths, 20 thousandths, it'd have been great. 25 thousandths is a little thick behind the edge for this knife. Like, I'm not 25 thousandths is great behind the edge. I don't want to knock 25 thousandths. 25 thousandths isn't bad. But now as I sharpen it, it's going to get thicker and thicker and thicker. So to start off with that, you know, and it still is, I did sharpen it, and it's still, you know, like 24, 25 thousandths. But it'd be really nice if it was 20 thousandths, maybe 18 thousandths behind the edge. But this thing does go through things like a dream because the blade stock is so thin. So it makes up for it in the blade stock thickness. So the blade geometry could be a little bit better. The hardware, T6s, man. Gotta knock the T6s. I don't like T6s. You gave me a T8 pivot. Why didn't you give me T8s back here? It'd have been nice. That would have put this up so much higher. I wish companies would acknowledge this. Asher, T8s, buddy, T8s. People love T8s. We hate seeing T6s, especially with a strong built knife like this. Now, I'm not knocking the T6s now. These are good T6s. They're not bad. I did mess with them. These are well-made T6s. Look at them. You can see how the points are. They're nice and deep. There's nothing wrong with the T6s for being T6s, but man, they'd be better if they were T8s. Okay, next thing. There's two more things. Two more things. So one, when I have it in the pocket, it rides in the pocket just fine. Pulls out of the pocket, you know, the clip-wise, it's just fine. But like 3 to 4 times when I was pulling it out, my pants snagged. these, and it went like that. It popped out of my pocket like that. So it just pulled it out like that. Now I caught it right away, and then now I tend to be pulling it out, and I just put my finger there just to make sure. Now, when I tried to reenact it, it only happened once through like 20 times me trying to reenact it. Maybe it was because I knew it was going to happen. Maybe it was the pants I was wearing. I don't want to like knock it for that. I'm just bringing it up. Now, that being said, I like how big the thumb studs are. Like, they give you a lot of room. Like, look how high they are. They poke up just a little bit higher than the G10 right there. See how it is? So I like that. But it did snag my pockets a little bit, pulling it out of my pocket. Now, the next thing, the blade to handle ratio could be a little bit better. And I'm not just talking about length. Like, the length could be just a tiny bit more. But that's not really what I'm knocking. What I'm knocking is the depth. They could have went like this deep with the knife. Just a little bit farther down. Because if you look at right here, let's see if we can see it. Look at all that room. Do you see all that room in between the G10? Like, they had a lot more room that they could have played with. So, the blade to handle ratio this way, not this way, this way, could have been a little bit better. And that's the video. I love you guys. I do like the knife. So, I just want to say I do like the knife. It does feel a lot more harder use than the bug out. I'm not going to say it's a hard use knife, but I'm just saying it does feel stronger, and obviously it has full liners. The weight feels really good. I like the weight of it. I actually feel like I have a knife on me and not a paper, like a toy. So good action. Like I said, it broke in really nice. It is Foster bronze washers that are very, very smooth. You see how smooth it is, and the lockup is nice and strong. I love the stop pin, man. That's a nice big stop pin. I love seeing stop pins like that. Makes me feel like it's more reliable. But there you guys go. Peace!